I wish that I could stop reporting this particular story. I really do. But it seems like every single week we're telling you about another unruly passenger who decided to assault a flight attendant. The latest incident happening on Saturday night on a Spirit Airlines flight into Nashville. A woman reportedly punched one flight attendant and pulled the hair of another. Oh, my goodness. Joining us right now, Sarah Nelson, the president of the Association of Flight Attendants. You know this all too well and how just irritating and disappointing this is. But the FAA does report there has been a serious climb in the number of disruptive passengers. We've talked about it. It's over 5,000 incidents with over 900, I think, being investigated as far as the violence of those passengers. But what is it? Is it the alcohol? This woman was reportedly drinking too much.
Yeah, alcohol is a major contributor here, and we have a big problem with airports pushing alcohol and to-go alcohol in the airport and sending the wrong message to people. So almost everyone who is traveling, and certainly over the Thanksgiving holiday weekend, almost everyone who is traveling is an infrequent traveler, maybe traveling for the first time since COVID began. And so they don't necessarily know the rules or know that for decades, you cannot board an aircraft if you are inebriated. You cannot bring on your own alcohol. You cannot serve yourself in the airport or on the plane. And airports are trying to make revenue, and so they are pushing this alcohol in the airport. And then people get up in the air, and the alcohol affects them even more because oxygen levels are lower at that compressed air at 8,000 feet. And we then are left to deal with the problems. So we have got to get this under control. There's a lot of contributing factors here, but alcohol is a major one. And
United just allowed or reinstated their policy to serve alcoholic beverages on board the planes. Do you think that's a smart move?
This is a problem across the board. So we have a problem in the airports. We have a problem on the planes. American and Southwest are not serving alcohol right now. We're not happy with United for doing this for several reasons. One, if people get more belligerent, it is more reason to be in conflict on the plane. It is more reason for people to be demanding on the plane. We're getting reports of that right now. But it's also about that interaction. We also have to enforce the mask policy. Not everyone on our planes have access to the vaccines yet. We want to make sure that we're not adding to the spread of this virus. And so we've got to enforce those mask policies. And as people are drinking, even if they're not belligerent, they are having a harder time complying with those mask policies. And that makes it more difficult for us as well. So we're not happy with United for bringing this policy back. We think it's the wrong move. But we think that this is not just an airplane issue. This is also an airport issue.
Yeah, it's almost like you have to ban alcohol throughout the entire terminal. Have you known of any flight attendants who've left the business because it's just too stressful? I mean, not everything that is upsetting is shown on television. Not everything that's upsetting reaches the height of disruptive passenger status. You guys are dealing with a lot of stress. I mean, we all are, right?
Yeah, this is chipping away at people every single day when they go to work. And sorry, but, you know, it's a lot. These are the people who have been on the front line since this pandemic started, working through all the stresses of the job, and then now having to deal with this every time they go to work. And it is the treatment that they're receiving. Not all incidents become a violent incident, but they're violent in their presentation and in their words. And 61% of these issues are accompanied with a racial, gender, or homophobic slur. And so it is really an attack on people, on their authority. The flight attendants are there for the safety, health, and security of the passengers in our care, and we need to be leaders in the cabin. And when this is happening, that is undermining our ability to do that. It's also distracting us from our safety duties, and it's distracting the flight deck as well, because we have to constantly report to them what's going on so we can determine whether or not we have to divert that flight.
You never have to apologize for being passionate or compassionate and caring about the people that work alongside of you who help all of us get up safely in the air. One more quick question for you. What can we do as sober-minded passengers if an instance like this gets to be wild and confrontational on board a plane?
First and foremost, when you go to board a plane, please look up from your phone and say hello to the flight attendants. Let them know that you're paying attention.
Right.
Even just with that greeting, you can do that. When you see a problem start to arise, if you see someone swearing or acting a little angry and you just see that something is starting to bubble up, be a good witness. Let a flight attendant know or an airport employee know about that so that we can get to that, assess the conditions, maybe leave the problems on the ground.
or if we're already up in the air, get there as soon as possible so that we can try to de-escalate the situation. Don't engage yourself unless there is imminent danger or unless we ask you to help in some way, because you could inadvertently make the problem worse. But being a good witness, looking around and alerting us to any problems is the best thing that you can do.
Making that eye contact, being friendly to the flight attendants and other gate agents and saying, listen, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yes, and setting that tone of kindness, it will change your whole experience. Thank you so much.
Sarah, it's always good to speak with you, and I wish you and all the flight attendants safety and peace as they travel, especially with all the folks who are traveling this holiday season. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.